don't force anything on your life. Life, in its raw and unfiltered reality, is beyond our control. The ancient sages, who walked before us, understood this truth deeply. They did not seek to bend life to their will, for they knew that such an attempt was a futile struggle against the very nature of existence. Instead, they chose to embrace life as it unfolds, understanding that each moment is a thread woven into the vast tapestry of fate. We too must learn this wisdom. Do not force anything on your life. The pursuit of control over every aspect of our existence is a recipe for despair, as it places us in direct opposition to the natural flow of the world. We must understand that life is a river, and we are but leaves carried by its current. In this acceptance, we find true freedom. Live fully in the present. To live fully in the present is to awaken to the profound truth that life only exists in this very moment. The past is but a memory, a story we tell ourselves about what has already happened. The future is a mere projection, a collection of hopes, fears, and uncertainties that may or may not come to pass. The only reality is the present, this fleeting instant where life unfolds before our eyes. The Stoics understood this deeply and urged us to anchor ourselves in the here and now. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflects on this truth with the simplicity and clarity of a sage. Confine yourself to the present. He knew that dwelling on the past, or anxiously anticipating the future, only distracts us from the richness of the present moment, where our true power lies. But what does it mean to live fully in the present? It means to engage with life as it is, without judgment or resistance. It means to be fully aware of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, and to respond to them with clarity and wisdom. The present moment is where we exercise our will, where we make choices that shape our character and our destiny. In the present, we find the freedom to be who we truly are, unburdened by the regrets of yesterday or the worries of tomorrow. Living in the present requires us to let go of the illusion of control. We cannot change the past, nor can we predict the future with certainty. All we have is now this breath, this heartbeat, this experience. When we fully accept this, we release ourselves from the chains of regret and anxiety, finding peace in the only time we truly possess. Moreover, living fully in the present is a practice of mindfulness. It is the art of paying attention to the details of our lives, the feel of the ground beneath our feet, the sound of the wind in the trees, the warmth of the sun on our skin. It is in these small, seemingly insignificant moments that we find the essence of life. By being present, we open ourselves to the beauty and the mystery of existence, experiencing life in its fullness. The Stoics also teach us that living in the present is not just about awareness, it's about action. Epictetus reminds us that the present alone is our happiness. This means that our actions, guided by wisdom and virtue, must be rooted in the present. We cannot postpone our duties, our kindness, or our pursuit of excellence to some future time. Every moment is an opportunity to live in accordance with our highest values, to act with courage, justice, and integrity. But living in the present is not just a solitary endeavor, it is a communal one. When we are fully present, we engage more deeply with others. We listen more attentively, speak more truthfully, and connect more authentically. We become more attuned to the needs and experiences of those around us, fostering deeper relationships and a greater sense of empathy. In this way, living fully in the present is an act of love for ourselves, for others, and for the world. It is a commitment to live each day as if it were our last, to embrace the uncertainty of life with open arms, and to find joy in the simple act of being alive. When we live in the present, we honor the gift of life, and we find a peace that transcends the turbulence of time. Understand the impermanence of life. To truly grasp the impermanence of life is to confront one of the most profound and inevitable truths of our existence. Everything we know, everything we hold dear, is transient. Nothing is permanent, not our possessions, not our relationships, not even our own lives. This understanding is not meant to lead us into despair, but rather to awaken us to a deeper appreciation of the present moment and the preciousness of life itself. The Stoics were keenly aware of this impermanence and saw it as a fundamental aspect of nature. Heraclitus, often associated with early Stoic thought, famously stated, "You cannot step into the same river twice, for other waters are continually flowing on." This metaphor encapsulates the essence of impermanence. Life is in constant flux, ever-changing, and we are mere travelers through this ever-shifting landscape. One of the most powerful Stoic practices to internalize this truth is the concept of memento mori, or remember you must die, far from being morbid. This reminder serves as a tool to focus our minds on what truly matters. By contemplating our mortality, we are called to live more fully, to prioritize what is important, and to not squander our time on trivialities. As Seneca writes in his letters, let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day. The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Understanding impermanence also means recognizing that our sufferings and joys, like all things, are temporary. The Stoics believed that by accepting this transience, we could better manage our emotions, avoiding the extremes of despair or elation. Epictetus taught that we should view every loss or gain with a calm mind, understanding that both will pass. He said, "When something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it. You can either accept it or resent it." In this acceptance, we find peace, for we are no longer clinging to what must inevitably change. The impermanence of life also encourages us to live with urgency and intention. Knowing that our time is limited pushes us to make the most of every moment, to live in a way that is true to our values and principles. It reminds us to love more deeply, to forgive more freely, and to pursue our goals with vigor. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflected on the brevity of life, urging himself to act with purpose. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Moreover, understanding impermanence can help us develop a sense of detachment, not in the sense of indifference, but rather in the sense of freedom. When we recognize that all things are fleeting, we can let go of the intense attachments that lead to suffering. We can appreciate the people and things in our lives without becoming enslaved by the fear of losing them. The Stoics would advise us to enjoy the good things in life while they last, but to remain prepared for their inevitable departure. This way, when change does come, we are not devastated, but rather ready to adapt and continue forward. This acceptance of impermanence also extends to our achievements and failures. The Stoics would remind us that success and failure, like everything else, are temporary. They do not define us, nor do they last forever. What matters more is how we respond to them, whether we allow success to inflate our egos or failure to crush our spirits. Instead, the Stoic approach is to remain steady, understanding that both triumph and disaster are fleeting. Finally, the impermanence of life invites us to find meaning in the present rather than in the distant future. It teaches us that life's true value is not in its duration, but in how we live it. Seneca reminds us it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. By embracing impermanence, we can focus on living a life of virtue, wisdom, and compassion, knowing that these are the qualities that will leave a lasting impact, even after we are gone. In embracing the impermanence of life, we learn to live with a greater sense of peace, purpose, and gratitude. We are freed from the fear of loss and the anxiety of change, allowing us to experience life more fully and deeply. In this way, the understanding of impermanence becomes not a source of sorrow, but a source of strength and liberation. The power of acceptance. Acceptance is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, embodying the idea that true peace and resilience come from aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, rather than resisting it. At its core, acceptance is the recognition and embrace of reality as it is not as we wish it to be. It is the understanding that while we cannot control the external events that unfold around us, we have full control over our internal responses to them. The Stoics viewed life as a series of events, some of which are beyond our control. This fundamental distinction between what we can and cannot control is key to the Stoic mindset. Epictetus, one of the great Stoic philosophers, famously said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." This quote encapsulates the essence of acceptance. By focusing on what is within our power, our thoughts, emotions, and actions, we can maintain inner peace, even in the face of external turmoil. Acceptance is not passivity or resignation. It is an active and conscious choice to see things clearly and respond with wisdom. It does not mean that we give up on improving our lives or striving for better outcomes. Rather, it means that we acknowledge the present moment as it is and work within it, without wasting energy on futile attempts to change what is unchangeable. This approach allows us to act from a place of strength and clarity, rather than frustration and denial. One of the most profound aspects of acceptance is its ability to free us from unnecessary suffering. Often our distress comes not from the events themselves, but from our resistance to them. When we refuse to accept reality, when we cling to how we think things should, we create a tension within ourselves that leads to suffering. By embracing acceptance, we release this tension and open ourselves to a more harmonious existence. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, advises, "Receive without pride, let go without attachment." This reflects the Stoic belief that acceptance allows us to flow with life rather than fight against it. Acceptance also involves letting go of the illusion of control. Many of us believe that if we just try hard enough, we can bend the world to our will. However, this belief often leads to frustration and disappointment because much of what happens in life is beyond our control. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control, our own actions and attitudes, while accepting the rest as it comes. This shift in focus not only reduces stress but also empowers us to act more effectively in the areas where we do have influence. Moreover, the power of acceptance extends to how we view and manage our emotions. The Stoics believe that emotions like anger, fear, and sadness are natural, but they should not dominate our lives. By accepting these emotions when they arise, rather than denying or suppressing them, we can observe them with detachment and prevent them from controlling us. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The mind that is anxious about future events is miserable." By accepting our emotions as temporary states, we can prevent them from overwhelming us and maintain our inner equilibrium. Acceptance is also deeply connected to the Stoic practice of amor fati, or love of fate. This idea encourages us not only to accept what happens but to embrace it fully, as if we had chosen it ourselves. By adopting this mindset, we can transform challenges and setbacks into opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing difficulties as obstacles, we see them as necessary parts of our journey, each one offering a lesson or a chance to develop our character. Nietzsche, who was influenced by Stoic thought, expressed this beautifully: "My formula for greatness in a human being is amor fati, that one wants nothing to be different, not forward, not backward, not in all eternity." Finally, the power of acceptance lies in its ability to bring us peace. When we accept life as it is, we stop wasting energy on what we cannot change and instead focus on living in alignment with our values and principles. This creates a deep sense of inner peace, as we are no longer at war with reality. We learn to move through life with grace, responding to whatever comes our way with calmness and clarity. In summary, the power of acceptance is transformative. It frees us from the burden of unnecessary suffering, empowers us to focus on what we can control, and helps us cultivate a life of peace and resilience. Through acceptance, we align ourselves with the natural order of the world, embracing both the joys and challenges of life with equanimity and strength. This is the true essence of Stoic wisdom: living in harmony with the world as it is, while remaining steadfast in our pursuit of virtue and inner peace. Learn to let go. Learning to let go is one of the most liberating practices in Stoicism, a discipline that teaches us to release our attachments to things that are beyond our control. At its heart, this principle is about recognizing the transient nature of life and understanding that clinging to people, possessions, or outcomes can lead to unnecessary suffering. Letting go is not about giving up, it is about finding freedom through acceptance, allowing us to live more fully and peacefully. The Stoics believed that attachment is a source of pain because it ties our sense of well-being to external things, which are often beyond our control. Whether it's material possessions, relationships, or specific outcomes, when we become overly attached, we set ourselves up for disappointment and distress. As Epictetus reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This means that our happiness should not depend on external circumstances, but rather on our internal state, our ability to let go of what we cannot control. Letting go starts with the realization that everything in life is temporary. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often reflects on the fleeting nature of existence. All is ephemeral, fame and the famous as well. By understanding that all things are impermanent, we can begin to release our grip on them. We learn to appreciate what we have while we have it, but without becoming overly attached to its presence in our lives. This mindset allows us to enjoy life's pleasures without fearing their loss. One of the key aspects of learning to let go is releasing our attachment to specific outcomes. Often we become so fixated on a particular goal or desire that we lose sight of the bigger picture. We may convince ourselves that our happiness depends on achieving this one thing, and when it doesn't go as planned, we feel devastated. The Stoics would advise us to focus on our efforts rather than the results. Seneca wisely noted, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." By letting go of our rigid expectations and instead embracing the process, we can find contentment in knowing that we've done our best, regardless of the outcome. Letting go also applies to our relationships with others. While love and connection are essential parts of life, the Stoics warn against becoming overly dependent on others for our sense of identity or happiness. Relationships, like everything else, are subject to change, and people may leave our lives for various reasons. By learning to let go of our attachment to specific individuals, we can appreciate our time with them without being consumed by fear or grief when they are no longer with us. This doesn't mean we stop caring, rather, it means we love more freely, without the chains of possessiveness or control. Another critical area where letting go is essential is in dealing with the past. Many of us carry the weight of past mistakes, regrets, or traumas, allowing them to shape our present and future in unhealthy ways. The Stoics teach us that the past is beyond our control and cannot be changed. Clinging to it only drags us down, preventing us from moving forward. Epictetus advises, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do happen, and you will go on well." By letting go of the past, we free ourselves from its hold and open up to the possibilities of the present and future. Letting go is also about releasing our need for control over the world around us. The Stoics understood that much of life is unpredictable and uncontrollable, from the behavior of others to the unfolding of events. Trying to control what is inherently uncontrollable only leads to frustration and anxiety. Instead, we should focus on what we can control: our own thoughts, actions, and responses. By letting go of the illusion of control, we can cultivate a sense of calm and equanimity, allowing us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. The practice of letting go is not about detachment in the sense of emotional coldness or indifference. Rather, it is about developing a healthy detachment that allows us to engage with life fully, without being enslaved by it. It's about understanding that true freedom comes not from possessing or controlling, but from accepting and releasing. By letting go, we make room for new experiences, new growth, and new opportunities to live in accordance with our values. Finally, letting go is an act of trust in ourselves, in the natural order of the world, and in the unfolding of life's events. The Stoics believed in fate, or the idea that everything happens according to a larger plan, one that is often beyond our comprehension. By letting go of our need to dictate how things should be, we learn to trust in the flow of life, finding peace in knowing that we are part of something greater. In summary, learning to let go is a powerful practice that frees us from the burdens of attachment, allowing us to live with greater peace, joy, and resilience. It teaches us to appreciate life as it is, to focus on what we can control, and to release our grip on what we cannot. Through letting go, we find the strength to move forward with grace, embracing the ever-changing nature of life with open hearts and clear minds. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness, a practice rooted in the present moment, is central to the Stoic way of life. To practice mindfulness is to live with full awareness and presence, to observe our thoughts and actions without judgment, and to cultivate a deep connection to the here and now. In Stoicism, mindfulness is not just a tool for relaxation or stress relief, it is a disciplined approach to life that enables us to respond to situations with wisdom and clarity, rather than being driven by impulsive emotions or external circumstances. At the core of Stoic mindfulness is the concept of prosos, which translates to attention or vigilance. The Stoics believed that in order to live a virtuous life, we must be constantly aware of our thoughts, emotions, and actions. This awareness allows us to examine whether we are living according to our values and principles, and it enables us to correct our course when we stray from the path of virtue. As Epictetus advises, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. This requires a mindful presence in every moment, a continual self-examination to ensure that our actions align with our intentions. Mindfulness in Stoicism also involves a heightened awareness of the impermanence of all things. By being fully present, we become more attuned to the transient nature of life, which fosters a sense of gratitude and appreciation for each moment. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflects on this idea. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Mindfulness allows us to savor these moments without being distracted by worries about the past or anxieties about the future. It grounds us in the present, where life truly unfolds. One of the most profound aspects of mindfulness is its ability to create a space between stimulus and response. When we are mindful, we develop the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise, without immediately reacting to them. This practice of detachment or apatheia is a key Stoic virtue. It doesn't mean that we suppress our emotions, but rather that we recognize them for what they are: temporary and often irrational impulses that do not need to dictate our actions. As Seneca wrote, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By practicing mindfulness, we can prevent these imagined fears and anxieties from controlling our lives. Mindfulness also involves a deep awareness of our environment and the people around us. The Stoics encouraged us to engage with the world in a thoughtful and intentional manner, to observe and understand the dynamics at play in our relationships and interactions. This mindful observation helps us to act with wisdom and compassion, rather than being swept along by social pressures or emotional reactions. Epictetus emphasizes this point: keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. By practicing mindfulness, we can maintain our focus on what truly matters, avoiding unnecessary entanglements and distractions. Another important aspect of mindfulness in Stoicism is the practice of premeditatio malorum, or premeditation of evils. This exercise involves mindfully contemplating potential challenges or adversities before they occur, so that we are better prepared to face them with resilience. By mentally rehearsing difficult scenarios, we can reduce the shock and emotional impact when they happen, allowing us to respond more calmly and effectively. Marcus Aurelius suggests this approach: begin each day by telling yourself, today I shall be meeting with interference, ingratitude, insolence, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, all of them due to the offender's ignorance of what is good or evil. This mindful preparation enables us to face life's challenges with equanimity and strength. In addition, mindfulness in Stoicism involves a practice of regular self-reflection. The Stoics advocated for daily review of one's thoughts and actions, a practice that encourages continual improvement and self-awareness. At the end of each day, they would reflect on how they had lived, asking themselves whether they had acted in accordance with their principles and where they could have done better. Seneca recommends this practice when the light has been removed and my wife has fallen silent. I examine my entire day and go back over what I've done and said, hiding nothing from myself. This nightly reflection is a form of mindful introspection that helps to solidify virtuous habits and correct any errors. Furthermore, mindfulness helps us to detach from external outcomes and focus on our internal virtues. The Stoics believed that we should not be overly concerned with how things turn out, but rather with how we conduct ourselves in each situation. By practicing mindfulness, we can maintain our focus on what is within our control, our own thoughts and actions, without being distracted by the uncontrollable outcomes. This mindset allows us to live with a sense of peace and purpose, regardless of external circumstances. Finally, mindfulness in Stoicism is about living with intention and purpose. It is a commitment to being fully present in our lives, to making conscious choices that align with our values, and to continuously striving for self-improvement. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. This call to action reminds us that mindfulness is not just about contemplation, but about living in a way that reflects our highest ideals. In conclusion, practicing mindfulness in the Stoic tradition is a powerful way to cultivate inner peace, resilience, and virtue. It involves being fully present, observing our thoughts and emotions with detachment, and aligning our actions with our principles. Through mindfulness, we can navigate life's challenges with clarity and wisdom, and live each moment with a deep sense of purpose and gratitude. Use silence effectively. Silence, in the Stoic tradition, is not merely the absence of noise, it is a powerful tool for cultivating wisdom, self-control, and inner strength. The effective use of silence is a practice that allows us to reflect, observe, and act with deliberate intention. By embracing silence, we create space for thoughtful consideration, develop deeper insight, and ultimately master the art of living a life guided by reason rather than impulsivity. The Stoics placed great value on silence as a means of gaining control over one's thoughts and emotions. When we are silent, we give ourselves the opportunity to step back from the immediate pressures of the world and observe our inner state without distraction. This moment of pause is crucial for practicing the Stoic virtue of apatheia, or freedom from destructive emotions. In silence, we can examine our feelings, recognize irrational impulses, and choose a response that is in line with our principles, rather than reacting impulsively. As Seneca advised, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Silence is the gateway to this continuous learning, allowing us to reflect on our experiences and extract wisdom from them. Silence also serves as a shield against unnecessary conflicts and misunderstandings. The Stoics understood that many disputes arise from hasty or ill-considered words spoken in the heat of the moment. By practicing silence, we avoid the pitfalls of reckless speech and the damage it can cause to our relationships and reputations. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, cautioned, "Keep silent for most of the time and speak only when you must, and then briefly." This advice underscores the importance of restraint in communication. By speaking less, we are more likely to say what truly needs to be said, with clarity and purpose. In addition to preventing conflicts, silence enables us to listen more effectively. The Stoics believed that true wisdom comes from understanding not only ourselves but also the world around us. When we remain silent, we open ourselves up to the perspectives and experiences of others. This active listening fosters empathy and deeper connections with those around us, as it allows us to fully absorb and consider their words before responding. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it." Silence grants us the mental space to entertain thoughts fully, weigh their merits, and respond with wisdom. Moreover, silence is a critical component of introspection, a practice that the Stoics highly valued. Through silence, we can engage in the daily practice of self-examination, assessing our actions, motives, and progress on the path of virtue. This reflective silence helps us to identify areas where we can improve, to acknowledge our strengths, and to set intentions for personal growth. Seneca recommended that we take a moment each day to reflect on our actions. And this reflection is most effective in the quiet of our own minds, free from external distractions. The use of silence also extends to our interactions with the world at large. In a society that often values constant activity and noise, choosing silence can be a radical act of self-discipline and self-preservation. By withdrawing into silence, even temporarily, we can shield ourselves from the chaos and noise of the external world, preserving our mental and emotional well-being. This practice is akin to the Stoic concept of ataraxia, or tranquility, which is achieved by maintaining a calm and peaceful mind amidst the turbulence of life. Marcus Aurelius suggested, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." In silence, we retreat into our own inner sanctuary, where we can find the stillness and clarity needed to face life's challenges with resilience. In moments of decision-making, silence proves invaluable. The Stoics believed that wise decisions are born out of thoughtful deliberation, not rash impulses. By embracing silence before making a decision, we allow ourselves the time to consider all aspects of the situation, to reflect on the potential consequences, and to align our choices with our core values. This deliberate silence helps us avoid the pitfalls of regret, as our decisions are grounded in reasoned judgment rather than fleeting emotions. Epictetus emphasized the importance of thoughtful decision-making, stating, "When you are about to do something, remind yourself what kind of thing it is." Silence gives us the space to engage in this reminder, ensuring that our actions are intentional and wise. Furthermore, silence can be a profound form of communication. In some situations, silence speaks louder than words, conveying strength, confidence, or disapproval without the need for verbal expression. The Stoics recognized that silence can be a powerful tool in asserting boundaries, demonstrating self-control, or expressing dissent. By choosing silence over speech, we can sometimes communicate our stance more effectively, as it forces others to consider our silence and what it might signify. This use of silence is not passive but deliberate, a conscious choice to let our silence speak on our behalf. Finally, silence is a means of cultivating inner peace. In the practice of Stoicism, silence is a retreat into the self, where we can find respite from the constant noise and demands of the outside world. This inner silence allows us to reconnect with our true selves, to reflect on our purpose, and to strengthen our commitment to living a life of virtue. It is in silence that we find the clarity and focus needed to maintain our equanimity, regardless of the external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, silence is a lesson learned through life's many sufferings. Through the trials and tribulations of life, we come to understand the value of silence as a source of strength and serenity. In conclusion, the effective use of silence is a powerful practice that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy. Silence allows us to cultivate self-control, reflect on our actions, avoid unnecessary conflicts, and make wise decisions. It fosters deeper connections with others, enables us to listen and learn, and provides a refuge of inner peace amidst the chaos of the world. By embracing silence, we can navigate life with greater wisdom, resilience, and tranquility, living in accordance with the principles of Stoicism. Enjoy the journey, not just the outcome. The Stoic philosophy teaches us that life is not merely about reaching a destination, but about fully embracing the journey that takes us there. This idea emphasizes the importance of focusing on the process, rather than obsessing over the end result. By shifting our attention from outcomes to the journey itself, we cultivate resilience, find meaning in our daily actions, and learn to live with greater contentment and purpose. The Stoics understood that outcomes are often beyond our control. We can plan meticulously, work diligently, and strive for success, but the final result is subject to many variables that we cannot influence. This uncertainty is a central aspect of the human experience, and attempting to control or predict outcomes can lead to frustration, anxiety, and disappointment. As Epictetus wisely noted, some things are in our control and others not. By recognizing this distinction, we free ourselves from the tyranny of outcomes and begin to appreciate the value of the journey. When we focus solely on the outcome, we risk overlooking the lessons and growth that occur along the way. The Stoics believe that true fulfillment comes not from achieving a specific goal, but from the character we build in the process. Each step of the journey, with its challenges and triumphs, is an opportunity for self-improvement, for practicing virtues such as patience, perseverance, and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This Stoic principle teaches us to embrace obstacles as integral parts of the journey, shaping us into stronger, wiser individuals. Moreover, when we are fixated on the outcome, we are more likely to become disheartened by setbacks and failures. The Stoic approach, however, encourages us to view these setbacks as valuable experiences that contribute to our personal development. Every challenge faced on the journey is an opportunity to exercise resilience, to refine our skills, and to deepen our understanding. Seneca advised, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." By enjoying the journey, we learn to see difficulties not as deterrents but as stepping stones to growth and wisdom. Another reason to enjoy the journey is that it fosters a sense of presence and mindfulness. When we are constantly focused on the future, we often miss out on the richness of the present moment. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living fully in the present, engaging with life as it unfolds, rather than being preoccupied with what might or might not happen. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea beautifully: confine yourself to the present. By savoring each moment of the journey, we cultivate a deeper appreciation for life's fleeting beauty and find joy in the simple, everyday experiences that make up our existence. Enjoying the journey also involves recognizing that the journey itself is where life happens. Life is not a series of endpoints or accomplishments, but a continuous flow of experiences, actions, and choices. If we focus only on the outcome, we risk spending most of our lives in a state of anticipation, always looking ahead and never fully engaging with the present. The Stoics teach us to embrace the journey as the essence of life, where our true purpose and fulfillment are found. As Seneca observed, "Life is long if you know how to use it." By enjoying the journey, we learn to use our time wisely, finding meaning and satisfaction in the here and now. Furthermore, when we enjoy the journey, we align ourselves with the Stoic ideal of eudaimonia, or living in accordance with virtue. For the Stoics, the ultimate goal is not external success or material wealth, but living a virtuous life. This means focusing on how we live our actions, our choices, and our character rather than what we achieve. The journey is where we practice virtue, where we make decisions that reflect our values, and where we build the habits that define us. By prioritizing the journey over the outcome, we commit to living virtuously, knowing that this is the true measure of a well-lived life. Enjoying the journey also helps us to remain adaptable and open-minded. When we are overly attached to a specific outcome, we may become rigid and resistant to change, which can lead to unnecessary suffering when things don't go as planned. The Stoics, however, teach us to embrace change as a natural part of life. By focusing on the journey, we become more flexible and resilient, able to navigate life's uncertainties with grace and composure. As Epictetus put it, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Enjoying the journey means being open to the twists and turns of life, finding value in the process regardless of where it leads. Finally, by enjoying the journey, we cultivate a sense of gratitude. The Stoics believe that gratitude is a key to happiness and contentment. When we appreciate the journey, we acknowledge the opportunities it provides for growth, learning, and connection. We become grateful for each experience, whether pleasant or challenging, as it contributes to our development and enriches our lives. Marcus Aurelius urged us to take full account of what excellencies you possess, and in gratitude remember how you would hanker after them if you had them not. By practicing gratitude for the journey, we transform our perspective, finding joy and fulfillment in the present, rather than constantly chasing after the future. In conclusion, enjoying the journey rather than focusing solely on the outcome is a profound Stoic practice that leads to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It teaches us to embrace the process, to find value in the present moment, and to prioritize character and virtue over external success. By savoring the journey, we build resilience, cultivate gratitude, and live with greater purpose and contentment, embodying the true essence of Stoic philosophy. Find joy in the simplest things. In the philosophy of Stoicism, finding joy in the simplest things is an essential practice that teaches us to appreciate the inherent beauty and value of everyday life. This approach to life encourages us to look beyond the superficial allure of wealth, power, or status, and instead seek fulfillment in the modest and often overlooked aspects of our daily existence. By learning to find joy in the simple things, we cultivate a mindset of contentment, gratitude, and resilience, allowing us to live with a deeper sense of peace and satisfaction. The Stoics believed that true happiness comes not from external possessions or achievements, but from within, from our perspective and attitude towards life. Epictetus famously stated, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This insight reveals the Stoic emphasis on simplicity and moderation as paths to genuine contentment. When we shift our focus away from material excess and instead find joy in simple pleasures, we free ourselves from the endless cycle of desire and dissatisfaction that often plagues modern life. To find joy in the simplest things is to embrace a mindset of presence and mindfulness. The Stoics understood that life is fleeting and that the present moment is all we truly possess. By immersing ourselves in the here and now, we can discover a world of beauty and meaning in even the most ordinary experiences. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reminds us, "Dwell on the beauty of life, watch the stars, and see yourself running with them." This quote captures the essence of Stoic mindfulness, finding joy in the simple act of observing the world around us, whether it's the night sky, a quiet moment of reflection, or the gentle rhythm of our breath. The practice of finding joy in the simplest things also helps us cultivate gratitude. Gratitude is a cornerstone of Stoic thought, as it fosters a sense of appreciation for what we have rather than focusing on what we lack. Seneca advised, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." When we learn to appreciate the simple things like a warm meal, a good conversation, or a walk in nature, we begin to see life's abundance in a new light. Gratitude for these small pleasures shifts our focus away from material pursuits and towards a richer, more fulfilling experience of life. Moreover, finding joy in simplicity teaches us to value quality over quantity. The Stoics believe that a meaningful life is not defined by the accumulation of things, but by the depth of our experiences and the strength of our character. By savoring simple moments and appreciating their intrinsic value, we learn to cultivate a life of purpose and intention. As Epictetus pointed out, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic principle encourages us to focus on how we experience life, rather than on the pursuit of external rewards. Another key aspect of finding joy in the simplest things is the practice of frugality and self-discipline. The Stoics advocated for a life of moderation, where we avoid excess and focus on what truly matters. By embracing simplicity, we develop a greater sense of control over our desires and actions, leading to a more balanced and harmonious life. Seneca wrote, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." By finding joy in what we already have, we liberate ourselves from the constant pursuit of more and instead cultivate a sense of sufficiency and contentment. This Stoic approach also involves a deep appreciation for nature and the natural world. The Stoics saw nature as a source of wisdom and inspiration, and they believed that aligning ourselves with nature's rhythms leads to a more harmonious and joyful life. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the beauty and simplicity of the natural world, urging us to receive wealth or prosperity without arrogance and be ready to let it go. By reconnecting with nature, whether through a simple walk, observing a sunrise, or tending to a garden, we tap into a profound sense of joy that transcends material concerns. Finding joy in the simplest things also helps us develop resilience in the face of life's challenges. When we learn to appreciate the small, consistent joys in life, we build a reservoir of positive emotions that sustain us during difficult times. This resilience is a key aspect of Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to remain steadfast and composed, regardless of external circumstances. By grounding ourselves in simple joys, we create a foundation of inner strength that allows us to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and equanimity. In addition, this practice encourages us to focus on relationships and human connections. The Stoics valued the bonds we form with others, seeing them as a source of support, learning, and joy. Simple acts of kindness, a shared meal, or a heartfelt conversation are moments that bring genuine happiness and fulfillment. Epictetus taught that we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. By prioritizing meaningful relationships over material pursuits, we find joy in the love and companionship of those around us, which enriches our lives far more than any possession ever could. Finally, finding joy in the simplest things aligns with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. This means recognizing and embracing our human limitations and finding contentment in the life we have, rather than constantly striving for more. It's about understanding that life's true pleasures often lie in the most ordinary moments that, when fully appreciated, reveal the richness and beauty of existence. Marcus Aurelius eloquently summed up this idea: very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. In conclusion, finding joy in the simplest things is a powerful Stoic practice that teaches us to appreciate the inherent beauty of life's everyday moments. It fosters a mindset of gratitude, presence, and resilience, allowing us to live with greater contentment and purpose. By focusing on simplicity, we free ourselves from the pursuit of material excess and discover a deeper, more meaningful form of happiness, one that is rooted in the richness of the present moment and the joy of living in alignment with our true nature. The art of gratitude. Gratitude, in the Stoic tradition, is not merely a fleeting feeling of thankfulness, but a profound and transformative practice that shapes how we perceive and engage with the world. It is an art that, when mastered, allows us to find contentment and meaning in life, regardless of external circumstances. The Stoics believed that the key to true happiness lies not in acquiring more, but in appreciating what we already have. Through the art of gratitude, we cultivate a mindset that fosters resilience, fortitude, and a deep sense of inner peace. At the heart of Stoic gratitude is the recognition of the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. As Epictetus emphasized, some things are up to us and some things are not. This fundamental Stoic teaching encourages us to focus our energy on what we can influence: our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, while accepting with grace and gratitude those things that lie beyond our control. By practicing gratitude, we learn to appreciate the good in our lives, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, and we develop the wisdom to let go of what we cannot change. The art of gratitude begins with a shift in perspective. Instead of constantly seeking more success, more possessions, more recognition, the Stoic approach invites us to pause and reflect on what we already have. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you have not, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." This practice of mindful reflection helps us to realize that we already possess much of what we need for a fulfilling life. By regularly acknowledging our blessings, we cultivate a sense of abundance rather than scarcity. Gratitude, in the Stoic sense, is also deeply connected to the concept of amor fati, the love of one's fate. This idea, central to Stoic philosophy, encourages us to embrace all aspects of our lives, including the challenges and hardships, with gratitude. As Seneca advised, a good character is the only guarantee of everlasting, carefree happiness. The art of gratitude teaches us to see obstacles not as burdens, but as opportunities for growth and self-improvement. By accepting our fate with gratitude, we transform difficulties into valuable lessons and find peace in the knowledge that every experience contributes to our development. Another important aspect of Stoic gratitude is the appreciation of the present moment. The Stoics believe that life is transient and that every moment is a gift. Marcus Aurelius reminded us to confine yourself to the present. By focusing on the here and now, we learn to savor the fleeting beauty of life's moments and to be grateful for the simple, everyday experiences that often go unnoticed. Whether it's the warmth of the sun on our skin, the sound of laughter, or the taste of a meal, practicing gratitude for the present helps us to live more fully and mindfully. The art of gratitude also involves recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. The Stoics understood that we are part of a larger whole, a web of relationships and circumstances that shape our lives. By acknowledging our dependence on others and the world around us, we cultivate humility and a deep sense of gratitude for the people, resources, and opportunities that sustain us. As Seneca noted, no man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Through gratitude, we honor the contributions of others and develop a greater appreciation for the richness and complexity of life. Moreover, practicing gratitude helps us to maintain a balanced and resilient mindset. The Stoics taught that life is filled with both joy and sorrow, success and failure, pleasure and pain. By embracing gratitude, we learn to navigate these dualities with grace. Instead of being overwhelmed by life's difficulties, we find strength in the knowledge that we can still be grateful for the good that remains. This resilience is a key aspect of Stoic philosophy, which teaches us to remain steady and composed in the face of life's inevitable ups and downs. Gratitude also plays a crucial role in fostering contentment and reducing envy. The Stoics understood that comparing ourselves to others is a source of unnecessary suffering. When we focus on what others have, we lose sight of our own blessings and become trapped in a cycle of desire and dissatisfaction. Epictetus warned against this tendency, advising, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." By practicing gratitude, we shift our attention away from what we lack and instead celebrate the unique gifts and experiences that are ours alone. Furthermore, the art of gratitude strengthens our relationships and deepens our connections with others. By expressing gratitude, we acknowledge the kindness, support, and love we receive from those around us. This practice not only nurtures our bonds with others but also fosters a sense of community and belonging. Seneca wrote, "Nothing is more honorable than a grateful heart." In cultivating gratitude, we become more generous, compassionate, and understanding, qualities that enrich our lives and the lives of those we touch. Gratitude also helps us to develop a sense of purpose and meaning. When we are grateful, we are more likely to recognize and appreciate the opportunities we have to contribute to the world in meaningful ways. This sense of purpose aligns with the Stoic ideal of living in accordance with nature and fulfilling our role within the greater whole. Marcus Aurelius urged us to think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. By practicing gratitude, we are motivated to live with intention, to make the most of the time we have, and to leave a positive impact on the world. Finally, the art of gratitude is a powerful antidote to negative emotions such as anger, fear, and despair. The Stoics believed that our emotions are largely shaped by our thoughts and perceptions. By consciously practicing gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the positive aspects of our lives, thereby reducing the power of destructive emotions. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." Through gratitude, we shift our perspective from what is wrong to what is right, from what is lacking to what is present, and in doing so, we cultivate a sense of inner peace and joy. In conclusion, the art of gratitude is a central practice in Stoic philosophy that leads to a more fulfilling and meaningful life. It teaches us to appreciate the present moment, to embrace our fate with acceptance, and to find contentment in what we already have. By practicing gratitude, we develop resilience, strengthen our relationships, and cultivate a sense of purpose and joy. In mastering the art of gratitude, we embody the true spirit of Stoicism, living with wisdom, fortitude, and inner peace. Appreciate solitude. In Stoic philosophy, solitude is not merely the state of being alone, but a valuable opportunity for introspection, growth, and self-discovery. To appreciate solitude is to recognize its potential as a space for reflection and self-improvement, rather than viewing it as a mere absence of social interaction. Stoicism teaches us that solitude is a powerful tool for cultivating inner strength, clarity of thought, and a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world. The Stoics understood that solitude provides a unique environment for self-examination and personal growth. In the quiet of solitude, we can confront our inner thoughts and emotions without the distractions and influences of external noise. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, reflected on the value of solitude. "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." This introspective practice allows us to examine our beliefs, intentions, and values, leading to greater self-awareness and alignment with our true nature. Solitude also offers a respite from the constant demands and expectations of society. In a world filled with noise, obligations, and social pressures, solitude provides a necessary pause, allowing us to reconnect with ourselves and our core principles. Epictetus taught, "It's not the events themselves that disturb people, but their judgments about those events. By stepping away from the external world, we gain perspective and learn to evaluate our experiences with greater clarity and objectivity." Another crucial aspect of appreciating solitude is the opportunity it provides for personal development. The Stoics believe that true growth occurs when we are able to reflect deeply on our actions and experiences. Seneca advised, "He who is brave is free." Solitude gives us the space to practice virtues such as courage, patience, and wisdom, free from the distractions of daily life. It allows us to engage in meaningful self-discipline, cultivate inner strength, and set personal goals that are aligned with our values. Moreover, solitude fosters a sense of independence and self-reliance. By spending time alone, we learn to rely on our own resources and judgment, rather than seeking validation or support from others. This independence is a key Stoic virtue, emphasizing the importance of inner resilience and self-sufficiency. As Epictetus noted, freedom is the only worthy goal for a man. Through solitude, we cultivate the ability to stand strong in our convictions and navigate life's challenges with confidence and autonomy. Appreciating solitude also involves finding joy and contentment in our own company. The Stoics understood that happiness does not depend on external factors or the presence of others, but on our internal state of mind. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By learning to enjoy and value our own presence, we develop a sense of inner peace and fulfillment that is not reliant on external circumstances. In addition, solitude provides a valuable opportunity for creativity and intellectual exploration. The absence of external distractions allows us to delve deeply into our thoughts and ideas, fostering creativity and innovation. The Stoics valued intellectual pursuits and encouraged the development of a thoughtful and reflective mind. Seneca wrote, "The mind is trained by being alone." Solitude becomes a space where we can engage in deep thinking, problem-solving, and creative expression, enriching our intellectual and personal lives. Furthermore, appreciating solitude helps us to better understand our own needs and desires. In the quiet of solitude, we can distinguish between our genuine aspirations and the superficial demands imposed by society. This self-knowledge is crucial for living a life of authenticity and purpose. Epictetus emphasized the importance of self-awareness. Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Through solitude, we gain insight into our true self, enabling us to make choices that are in harmony with our authentic values and goals. Solitude also allows us to practice gratitude and mindfulness. Without the constant stimulation of social interactions and external stimuli, we become more attuned to the present moment and the simple pleasures of life. The Stoics advocated for mindfulness as a means of living in accordance with nature and appreciating the beauty of the world. Marcus Aurelius observed, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." In solitude, we cultivate mindfulness and gratitude, deepening our appreciation for the present and finding joy in the simplest experiences. Additionally, solitude provides an opportunity to cultivate a deeper connection with our own inner virtues. The Stoics believe that virtue is the highest good and that it is developed through deliberate practice and self-examination. Solitude allows us to engage in this practice without the distractions of social expectations or external pressures. Seneca encouraged this focus. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. In solitude, we become our own guide and mentor, working on our virtues and character with dedication and intention. Finally, appreciating solitude helps us to develop a balanced and harmonious relationship with others. By spending time alone, we gain a clearer understanding of our own needs and boundaries, which in turn enhances our interactions with others. We learn to approach relationships with greater authenticity and empathy, grounded in the self-knowledge gained through solitude. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this balance: what is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. Solitude enables us to cultivate a healthy sense of self, which positively impacts our relationships and interactions with those around us. In conclusion, appreciating solitude is a profound Stoic practice that offers numerous benefits for personal growth and well-being. It provides a space for introspection, self-development, and mindfulness, allowing us to connect with our true selves and cultivate inner strength. By embracing solitude, we learn to value our own company, foster independence, and gain clarity and purpose. Ultimately, the art of appreciating solitude enriches our lives, leading to greater self-awareness, fulfillment, and harmony. If you enjoyed this dive into Stoic wisdom and found it inspiring, please give this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us reach more people who might benefit from these insights. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest videos. Join our community, stay inspired, and continue your journey towards a more meaningful life. Thanks for watching.